Hey News fans, welcome to Before the Bounce for round 6. We're past the halfway point of the 2021 season and coming off 2 losses. Livy Birch, we are desperate for a win.
Yes, we sure are, and we're back at Casey Fields this weekend, so in front of our home fans, which is great, so hopefully we can get the win there.
That's exactly what we want to be doing, playing in front of the fans and against St Kilda, who are an expansion team, not one to take lightly, but I guess an opportunity to build some confidence back in this group.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've played 2 good sides that have played good footy on the day, and Collingwood played a fantastic game last weekend and we just weren't good enough on the day. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to get our mojo back, particularly in front of goal, and get our confidence back up with our game plan and run over the top of St Kilda.
That accuracy in front of a goal was a big issue. We've kicked 320 in the past 2 weeks. I know the girls will be taking that personally. Are you confident they're going to turn that around?
Yeah, it's a really hard pill to swallow, particularly knowing that we've had so many opportunities to win games. I think that's been the most disappointing thing about the losses, is that we're actually in them and we actually can, we could have won. So I think that that's something that, obviously we've been working on at training, and we just need to get that 1, 2, 3 going, and then we'll get that confidence back up.
Yeah, it can be a little bit contagious sometimes. It's also been an issue coming out of defence, the ball use, the by foot. Some of the turnovers directly cost us goals last week, and sometimes just puts you straight back under pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah, it felt like we were defending a lot of the game on the weekend, but that, as we've spoken about in previous episodes, Ben, is how we're playing the footy. Like, we want to go use the footy well by foot, go directly to goal, and sometimes we can bite off a bit more than we can chew.
In terms of the ins and outs, well, we've got 2 changes this weekend. Sinead Goldrick will miss with some hamstring soreness, while Niamh McAvoy has been omitted, making room for fellow Irish recruit Lauren McGee. She'll play her second game, while Brenna Tarrant returns after kicking 5 goals in the AFLW on the weekend. And of course, she provides versatility, could play at either end of the ground.
It's more about the team culture at the moment that I want to talk about. Obviously, tough losing games of footy, but the girls are still very connected. After a lot of work on the skills at training on Tuesday night, you went down to the driving range to have a hit.
Yeah, it was meant to be mini golf, but the guy didn't turn up, which is obviously he wasn't a Melbourne supporter. But then we went to the driving range, which ended up being perfect because the girls got all their frustration out by hitting the ball as far as they could. But yeah, it was great fun. We had a laugh, and I'd have to say Gabby Colburn was best on.
Took it out. How'd you hit him?
I was pretty good.
Very good. In terms of an Oppo watch, well, St Kilda, they've got a bit of a Melbourne flavour to them. Gave us plenty of options for whose cup it would be this weekend. Bianca Jacobson, a favourite of mine. We've got Kat Phillips, but the Claudia Whitford Cup, I'm going to call it. So the Saints, they are a dangerous side. They beat us last year, one that really hurt, with Greiser kicking that massive goal at the end to win it by 5 points. They've got 2 wins so far this year, coming off a 53-point loss to Adelaide, but you can never really take a side like them lightly, can you? No,
you definitely can't. They've got some incredibly dangerous players, particularly through their midfield, and obviously their forwards have been playing really well. Greiser obviously kicked that massive goal on us last year, but I think that loss really stung us in 2020, so I think we've got a lot to prove this match.
A few players to watch out for the Saints are their youngsters. So Tiana Smith, she was picked number 6 in the draft last year, got a Rising Star nomination early in the season. She is flying. And also Georgia Patrikios, who was one of their best and fairest winners last year. So those 2 young stars will no doubt bring the pressure early. And that's what we couldn't handle against Collingwood last week. They had 11 more uncontested possessions than us in the first quarter. They had double the marks and 4 marks inside 50 to 0. So they really controlled that facet of the game, didn't they?
Yeah, we were really disappointed with our first quarter effort against Collingwood. We knew they were going to have uncontested possessions, yet we didn't shut that down early enough. We definitely did in the following 3 quarters, but often against good sides, it's too late.
Yeah, in the first half alone, they had 50% scoring efficiency inside 50. We had just 20%. And again, we didn't kick the first goal of the game. So we want to get off to a flyer this weekend. In terms of things to look out for, my first point is less panic handball. So that stems on the back of the pressure from the opposition. One handball can lead to another, and then it all comes undone a little bit. But Collingwood had 25 more kicks and 13 less handballs than us in the first quarter last week. So we want to be more controlled with the ball. We want to be hitting targets, getting it on the outside, and hopefully we can just take the pressure off ourselves a little bit this weekend. What's your point, Libba?
Definitely my point is that St Kilda love to flood their backline. So they make sure that you're a bit stifled in your own forward 50, which means that it can be more difficult to score goals, but make sure you look out for the Melbourne Demons trying to use their method by foot to make sure that we're not just bombing it into our forward line.
Very exciting game coming up, back in front of a big home crowd on Saturday night at Casey Fields. The last time we did that, it was against North Melbourne. It was one of the games of the year, and hopefully the fans down there can enjoy this one.
Yeah, we can't wait to be back in front of our fans again. We certainly have missed you for the last couple of weeks, particularly against that North Melbourne game in round 3 where we weren't allowed to have any fans. So it's going to be so nice to be back at home and enjoying footy in front of Casey.
Thanks for watching Before the Bounce for this week. We hope to see you again in round 7.